Sure have enjoyed this, listening to all the different people speak and different parts of Mike's life that kind of put the pieces together for what I didn't know, and it's been very refreshing to hear. And I'm not good in front of speakers, so I don't apologize before I start. Anyway, I met Mike in 2012. He walked into the bank and applied for a loan, and got to talking to him about it. In the industry was an industry that I had not heard anything about before in the past, and so I told him, I said, we're going to get the financial statements and tax returns, and we did. And the tax returns were so foreign looking that I couldn't even understand them. I had deferred expenses over several years in the past and several years in the future, and I thought, my goodness, how do you figure out what they're doing? So we got to talking about it, and of course I couldn't do the loan. I couldn't figure out how to present it to the board. And so we got to talking more and more, and he'd come back in and visit. And he began to teach me about his industry, and I was teaching him about banking, didn't know what it was. And we slowly learned each other and kind of what was going on. And it grew into a real good friendship over time, and he would invite me to lunch, and we'd go to lunch, and we'd talk more, and he did not give up. He was not a person to give up. And by the way, he got the loan he wanted finally. And I think they've realized that, or Peter and Mike realized that they needed to make some changes for a banker to understand them. And they did, and those things really helped everybody, and I think it made a big difference. I know it did for me. I still call and ask daily about deferred sales expenses and what they mean and what they're doing, and get an email back so I can put my stuff together for a loan. And I really did learn to appreciate Mike. He was a family man and a Christian man, and he had real values. He had real determination. He learned more about him and where he came from and what he went through, and you just couldn't help but to respect him. And he was a leader and was a person that decided what he wanted to do, mapped out a trail, and made it happen. And he did not give up. And he was thoroughly impressive, and I enjoyed him, being around him. I would go by his office a lot of times in the morning and visit, and I would go by, and he had been there way early in the morning. I don't know what time he got there, 5:30, something like that. He would go through his financials in the morning of the business, what was going on, what was happening, what the sales were doing. He would go through the news. He knew what was going on in the news. He had already prayed. He'd go through his prayer life. And then a lot of times he was talking to Peter. They had a conversation going, and they were discussing what was going on. And he always had time to stop and visit and make you feel at home and make you feel like you were wanted, and it was very, very refreshing. I think Mike had a gift to see people's heart and to see them and their potential. And he had a gift of bringing that out, the best of everybody. And I think he saw it in people, and he brought it out in them and helped them to be the best they could be. And I really think that was the true part of Mike that I enjoyed and liked the most. And I will truly miss him. He was a great person, and got to know Amy through talking to him and meeting Amy, of course, in Allie. He meant so much to him. He was always talking about Allie, and they were watching the news together and doing their things together. And it was he was quite a person, had quite a bit of values, and I really, really, really